be honest, just filing the lawsuit from the very beginning was probably one of the biggest things that I've ever been a part of, because it just showed, we're not just going to stand around and be spectators on the island, that we're going to do everything that we can to protect our vision for Guam.
Attorney Leevin Camacho admits he's not a cultural performer or a poet, but that doesn't stop him from being an advocate for Guam.
I look at Guam being Chamorro, you kind of want to preserve something for the next generations, so you do what you can to make things good for them. I'm not smart enough to be a professor. I don't write good poetry. I'm not an artist, so I have I guess a skill set. I'm a lawyer, so based on that skill set, you find ways to plug in and to do the work to preserve the culture and the land. So I mean, that's it. This is what I can offer. I can't do these other things. I can't paint murals. I mean, not well at least. I can probably paint the background or the base coat. But if it involves litigation, again, one level of advocacy, that is something that I can help with.
The local litigator has made his mark, prevailing in the fight to save the ancient village of Pocket from becoming a live military training range for the U.S. Marines.
There's this concept of anaphemolic, right? And to make things good, but I think it is a little bit deeper than that. It's really about striking a balance or harmony, right? And that encompasses everything from cultural practices, cultural language, or the Chamorro language. Land would be part of it. So you mentioned the lawsuit that I was a part of, with the National Trust for Historic Preservation, the Guam Preservation Trust, we were Guahan, which sued to protect Pocket Village. And you look at everyone who cares about these places. I think that was what these places matter, right? So it's almost as though we have to remind people in different ways, and one of them is through litigation, that these places are important to the island of Guam, the people of Guam, and we're willing to do everything, including litigation, to protect them.
With the military now eyeing Tinian as a possible training site, Attorney Camacho says he's providing advice to the Tinian mayor. He's also representing Save Southern Guam, the case involving a development project for Pago Bay, and is involved with the We the People project and litigation involving voting rights for people living in Guam and the U.S. territories. The 39-year-old attorney has been practicing law for a decade. He says it's his connection to his family and land that inspires his advocacy.
I'm from Jigo, and after my children were born, they told me there's this practice of burying the umbilical cord near your house, right? And I hadn't heard of it until I had kids, but it really kind of made sense in the way that my parents were raised and their parents were, and you have a very real connection with the land that you're from. I have a view of limestone and jungle. It's not anything to write home about, but it's my piece of land, and so I would look at just that anaphemolic, right? You kind of are raised with an awareness that this is our land, and again, whether it's your particular piece of land or a village that we need to protect, and we do have a responsibility to do everything that we can, including litigation, but not just litigation, to do just that, yeah.
Camacho says it comes down to one's values and educating future generations.
To a certain extent, I think you're seeing now a resurgence in interest in culture. A lot of the people that you have featured in this segment, are doing things now that weren't done 5 years ago. And I think just giving that next generation the idea that, hey, if you love children's shows, you can promote the culture, and you can do that. If you love writing books, you can do that. If you love art, you can do that. So just creating the possibility, litigation, being a lawyer, you don't just have to do business litigation in order to give back to the community. So just as though there were attorneys before us and activists before this generation that kind of paved the way and showed us the possibilities of advocacy, I hope that we're kind of doing the same thing for the next generation.